Hi everyone and welcome back. I hope that you're all doing well and that you're enjoying my channel. This is part 2 of my early school years in Jamaica. In the first video, I talked about attending Beth Arbor Infant School and Beth Arbor All Age School, which is now Beth Arbor Primary. I left Beth Arbor All Age School to go to Pratville Primary School, and at Pratville Primary School I started in grade 4. I remember the principal at the school then was Mr. Manning. I also remember his wife, and some of the teachers there at the time were Mrs. Bailey, Mrs. Bryan, Mrs. Burton, Miss Sherrard, Miss Sherland, and I remember Miss Patsy Buckle, and I believe it is Miss Velma Buckle, which she is the principal now, Miss Velma Buckle. When I started in Miss Patsy Buckle's class, and I remember I could not spell my last name because it has 15 letters, and she decided that I would learn to spell it, and indeed I did learn to spell my last name. Attending Pratville Primary School for me, I could say it was a coming of age experience, because even though the oldest child there was 12 years old, they seemed to have known so much more than I did at the time. I can remember we would play stocky, sight in the middle, Chinese jump rope, baseball. We would make our own balls from plastic bag and stone. We would get a stone, put it in the middle, wet a piece of paper, wrap it around the stone. Then we use several plastic bags to wrap around the paper until it was heavy enough to throw, and that was our ball, because we didn't have a real ball, so we had to make our own then. And I can remember going to school in the mornings. I would walk from all the way around Sweetland. I live in the last house in Sweetland district. They call that place Shake Hand Corner. That is how far it was. You could just go down the hill and go over to Bosso. And I would walk to school every morning. And I remember at the school gate, there was this lady there. Her name was Miss Doris Baker. She would sell some of the best peppermint candy you could ever buy. And in the day, she would come up to the school during our lunch break, and she would sell fried dumplings and fritters and fried eggs and, you know, little snacks that us children would buy. I also remember in the square, in Asia Square, in the mornings we would stop there. The Henrys had a shop in the square. The shop is still there now, but I don't know who is running that shop, but I remember the Henrys used to run it. And they had a green ladder, a very pretty green ladder. It was a station wagon ladder. Every child that attend Pratville Primary School that walked past Miss Henry's shop, we would buy one red herring for $1 or half of red herring for 50 cents. And when we eat that red herring, the whole place, our uniform, the classroom, everything would smell like red herring. I remember Miss Buckle always say, I don't want no red herring smell in my class. So what we would do, Asia is a place where, Asia and Pratville on a whole is a place where you have lots of peppermint. It is a peppermint area. So we'd stop there and break the peppermint, rub it up on our mouths and our hands and go inside. But still Miss Buckle would always smell the red herring on us, and she would send us out to the pipe to go get ourselves cleaned up. But yeah, we would do that every morning. We would stop there, you know, and buy the red herring until one morning when we stopped there, Mr. Henry said, no, you have to buy the red herring when you're coming home, because it is giving us, and the teachers, problem in the school, you know, some of the teachers really couldn't take the sense. And we would just be at school, you know, we enjoy school life. I remember being on the hill there. At the time, I didn't know I could, when I'm upstairs at Pratville Primary School and I'm looking all the way back, I could see all the way up to Rose Hill at the time. Then I didn't know what I was looking at, but that is how high the school is, because the hill to go up to the school, that hill is called Quashi Hill. And talking about Quashi Hill, I remember Miss Cave. Miss Cave used to teach grade 5 at the school, and her husband used to drive, I think it was a Land Rover open back Jeep to the school. And the boys would run up the hill and hop the Jeep because the Jeep couldn't go fast over the hill, so it would just going up like this. And the boys would run and hop that Jeep in the morning, going to school. And that is the same Mr. Altis Cave, who had Southern Tours bus that used to run from Asia to Kingston. It would leave 4 o'clock every morning. But back to the school. At the school, as I said, it was just, fun. We would learn so many different things. I remember we had mental ability, English, mathematics, and science. Those were subjects that we would do every day. And at the school, when we reached grade 4, that is when we started practicing for the common entrance examination. And we would, I don't remember if you could sit it at age 10 or 11, but when you sit the common entrance examination, if you pass, you would go to Bishop Gibson, Manchester High School, or the Carteret College, more popularly known as DC. But if you didn't pass the common entrance, some people get 2 or 3 chances depending on your age. If you didn't pass the common entrance examination, you would attend Park Secondary School. You would just go down there like it was a feeder school. So you would go to Park Secondary School, which is now Winston Jones High School. Back then, Park Secondary School, they wore the same green uniform like what they wear now, but they wear gingham yellow, which also made the belt gingham yellow, blouse with Bermuda flat collar and puff sleeves, and the belt was made from the same gingham plaid yellow. So that is what they wear then. And as I said, if you didn't pass the common entrance examination, that is where you would go. And back then, when you pass your common entrance examination, on that day, the Gleaner would make extra copies because every parent would buy a copy of the Gleaner to see if their child or children passed the common entrance examination. And thinking back about the whole school life then, you didn't realize how much the teachers love you and care about you until you probably find yourself in a different experience, or now when you become an adult, you can look back and you can say, those teachers, they were very caring and loving. Because I remember Miss Lewis. Miss Lewis used to be at Pratville Primary School. She was also one of the grade 4 teachers, I believe. She further on went to Frankfield Primary, where she became the principal there. But I remember Miss Lewis. Miss Lewis was a very loving teacher, and all the teachers that I mentioned, they were just so loving. Going to school, I was not a talkative child. I was just like always by myself. I never really have a lot of friends because I can remember grade 4, I don't remember how many children were in that class with me. But in grade 5, I can clearly remember there were 19 boys and 5 girls, with myself included. And yes, that was it. 19 boys and 5 girls with myself included. So I didn't really have a lot of friends. I would walk home by myself, go to school by myself. But, I would play along with children that are, a part of the school, but not really having close friends, which to me, it was just normal. And until now, I'm mostly like that. I'm not really the kind of person to go out there and get friends. One other thing that I can remember clearly about attending the Pratville Primary School is Miss Murty's house. I remember Miss Murty, she didn't live too far from the school, and she had a lot of bee boxes. And most mornings when you're going to school, you would see Miss Murty and some men over in the mint. They had the bee boxes in the peppermint field. They would be over there preparing the honey from the bee boxes, and she would give us the honeycomb and would take that thing all the way to school. Sometimes when you look at our uniforms, have honey dripping all over it. It's like we were Pooh Bear or something. But that's how it was. And as I said, experiencing that kind of life at Pratville Primary School, it helped me to appreciate life and to understand a lot of things that maybe if I had continued at my former school or moved to another school somewhere else beside Pratville Primary School, I don't think I would have gained the experience and the appreciation for things that I have now. Because in my first video I mentioned that Pratville Infant School was one of the best things that happened to me. And I can say Pratville Primary School is also one of the best things that happened to me. Those two schools, they really mold me and help me to understand life as young as I was then. I remember I took the common entrance examination once and I didn't pass, but before I attended grade 6, I left Pratville Primary and went back to live with my mother, because when I attended Pratville Primary I was living with my grandmother. So I did not get a second chance at the common entrance. When you're at an all-age school back then, when you reach a certain age, 13 I think, you could not do the common entrance again. You'd have to do the grade 9 achievement test because you miss your chance. And that happened to me. But looking back now, life is what it is, and things change, life change, and when life change, people change as well. So I was like a part of all of that life-changing experience. But as I said, for me, attending Pratville Primary School was something I am happy I did, and I appreciate all the teachers that were there at the time that I attended, because the experience and the understanding I gained from attending Pratville Primary is something that I believe I would not have gotten anywhere else. And I'm going to be closing off my video now. So I hope you have enjoyed watching. Subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.